Hey everyone, welcome back.
Yes.
So, this time you've given us a ton of reports and articles
Yeah.
all about the future of higher education in Africa.
Right.
And wow,
Wow.
is there a lot to unpack here?
Yeah.
Get ready for some serious aha moments, folks,
Mhm.
because it seems like you're really interested in this idea
Yeah.
of how African universities and colleges can keep up
Right.
with this crazy, rapidly changing world.
Yeah.
And in the process, help unlock all this incredible potential of its booming young population.
It's true.
So let's dive in.
Okay.
Now,
Yeah.
one thing that really stuck out to me
Yeah.
was this story from one of the reports
Okay.
about this young woman in rural Kenya
Interesting.
who had to walk miles every single day just to attend secondary school.
Oh, wow.
And even with all those challenges, she excelled academically
Tiffer.
and ultimately earned a scholarship to a university in Nairobi.
That's fantastic.
I don't know about you, but to me,
Yep.
this story really shows the incredible hunger for education
It does.
and just this determination to succeed that exists throughout Africa,
Absolutely.
even with all the obstacles.
Despite all of them.
Now, speaking of potential,
Right.
the data on Africa's population growth
Oh, yeah.
is pretty mind-blowing.
It is.
I
Yeah.
mean, what did you think when you saw this?
Well, the source material
Yeah.
highlights that by 2050,
Yeah.
Africa's population is projected to reach 2.5 billion people,
Wow.
with over a quarter of the global population residing there.
That's a lot of people.
Huge.
And everybody's talking about this.
Yeah.
It's a youth dividend,
Right.
a potential boon for economic growth
Yeah.
and development across the continent.
It is.
Okay, so
Yeah.
youth dividend sounds promising,
Right.
but let's be real.
Yeah.
The reports also point out some big,
Yep.
pretty significant hurdles.
Sure.
For instance,
Okay.
how can education systems evolve quickly enough to prepare young people for jobs that might not even exist yet?
That's the question.
I mean, that's a tough one, right?
It is.
How do you even begin to address that?
It's all about adapting.
Right.
I mean,
So, what are your thoughts on that?
well, one of the reports argues that
Mm.
institutions need to evolve.
Okay.
They have to go beyond
Yeah.
just transmitting knowledge.
Yeah. Yeah.
They need to become these hubs of innovation,
Yeah.
fostering creativity, critical thinking,
Okay.
problem-solving skills. It's not just about theoretical knowledge here.
Right,
It's
yeah.
about giving students the tools
Right.
to adapt and thrive
Yeah.
in a world that's changing so rapidly.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
So how do we actually bridge this gap
Right.
between traditional academic structures
Yeah.
and the demands of a future job market?
Yeah.
It's just in constant flux.
It is always in flux.
It is. It's constantly changing.
Yeah, sure.
So
Well,
what did you find in the reports?
Well, several reports
Yeah.
point to integrating technology into learning.
Okay.
Like, for example,
Mhm.
there's this fascinating case study
Oh, yeah.
about a university in Ghana
Interesting.
that's implemented a blended learning model.
So they combine?
They combine online and in-person instruction.
That's cool. And this
Yeah.
has allowed them to reach students
Yeah.
in more remote areas
Yeah.
who might not have access to higher education otherwise.
Exactly.
That's awesome.
It is a great example
Yeah.
of thinking outside that traditional box.
Right.
Yeah.
And it seems
Yeah,
like a
right.
really practical
Yeah.
and scalable solution.
Yeah.
But what about this whole issue of brain drain?
Right.
I mean, all the reports
Yeah.
express concern
Yeah.
about talented individuals leaving Africa
Right.
to,
Pursue opportunities elsewhere.
Exactly.
So what can we do about that?
Well, it's being addressed.
Good.
Yeah.
How so?
One report highlights a program in Senegal
Mm-hmm.
that offers these competitive grants
Okay.
to researchers
Yeah.
who return to Africa after studying abroad,
That's a good idea.
bringing knowledge back.
Yeah.
Creating an environment where talent can flourish on African soil.
Right. It's
Yeah.
not enough to just bring the knowledge back.
Yeah.
You've got to make sure that there's a place for it to
use it?
use it to flourish.
Yeah.
So
Right.
the source material also mentioned this Going Global conference
Yeah.
in Abuja, Nigeria.
In Abuja.
And it seemed like
seems
the gathering
Yeah.
is meant to address all these
All these.
very challenges
Yeah, it is.
we've been talking about.
Yeah.
What is going global exactly?
Well, it's bringing together.
Leaders in international education
Okay.
to discuss the future of higher education in Africa. And one of the key themes is the role of international partnerships
Yeah.
in fostering innovation and knowledge sharing.
Okay.
It's not just about partnerships with institutions in the global north,
Right.
south of market, like collaborations are also gaining traction.
Yeah.
You know,
It's cool.
universities across Africa partnering with each other,
Yeah.
sharing resources and expertise.
I like that.
Yeah.
But I have a question.
Go ahead.
Collaboration sounds great.
It does,
But how do we make sure?
in a way that benefits all involved.
Okay.
So, for instance, some institutions are developing joint degree programs that allow students to study
Okay.
at multiple universities across Africa,
Wow.
gaining diverse perspective
An experience.
experiences.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
That's a fantastic initiative.
Yeah, I like that a lot.
It is.
So we've talked about collaboration,
Right.
but the reports also paint a pretty stark picture
They do.
of the funding gap
Right.
in African higher education.
Yeah.
That 0.38% of GDP
Tiny.
dedicated to research
Mm-hmm.
compared to 2.25% in Europe and North America
Yeah.
is just,
A huge disparity.
it's shocking.
It is.
What are the long-term consequences
You
of that kind of disparity?
The sources are clear.
Okay.
Without adequate funding,
Yeah.
it's difficult
Mm.
to develop the infrastructure,
Mm-hmm.
attract qualified faculty,
Okay.
and support the research.
Needed to drive innovation
Mm-hmm.
and address the continent's unique challenges.
That's right.
One report even
Yeah.
draws a parallel
Okay.
to the development of robust research ecosystems
Mm-hmm.
in countries like South Korea and Singapore,
Yeah.
arguing that similar investments
Uh-huh.
in African higher education
Yeah.
could yield significant
Hmm.
long-term economic and social returns.
Yeah. I see.
Wow.
So it's a bit of
Wow.
a chicken and egg situation.
Chicken and egg.
Right.
Wow.
You need a strong research base to drive innovation,
You do.
but you need investment to build that base.
That's right.
So where do we go from here?
Many of the reports
Mm-hmm.
advocate for a multi-pronged approach.
Okay.
Increasing government funding is crucial,
Mm-hmm.
but it can't be the only solution.
Right.
They highlight the need to explore alternative funding models,
Yeah.
Like-
what?
establishing university endowments,
Okay.
attracting private sector investment, and encouraging philanthropic support
Right.
for higher education.
So it's about
It is.
diversifying the funding sources
Right.
and creating a more
Sustainable.
financial ecosystem
Yeah.
for higher education.
That's right.
But beyond funding,
Mm-hmm.
what are some of the other
Yeah.
structural issues
Right.
that need attention?
Well, one key area is governance.
Okay.
The reports emphasize the need for
Mhm.
transparent and accountable leadership
Mm-hmm.
within institutions.
Makes sense.
It does. So
Yeah.
strong governance
Mm-hmm.
not only builds trust,
Yeah.
but also makes institutions more attractive
Yeah.
to potential donors and investors.
That's right.
It's about showing
Mm-hmm.
that the funds are being used effectively and responsibly.
Right.
The source material
Mm-hmm.
also touches on something else
Okay.
that's crucial,
Yeah.
making sure
Right.
that access to education
Yeah.
isn't just for a select few. It shouldn't be.
Right.
Okay.
What did you find in the reports?
One of the reports highlights
Yeah.
the stark reality
Yeah.
tertiary education remains out of reach
Mm-hmm.
for many of Africa's most marginalized communities.
That's a problem.
Yeah, particularly women in rural areas,
Right.
individuals with disabilities,
Mm-hmm.
and those displaced by conflict.
Yeah.
You know,
To truly unlock the potential
unlock the potential
of Africa's youth,
of Africa's youth.
we need to remove these barriers
Yes.
and ensure that education is accessible to everyone.
To everyone.
Everyone.
Absolutely.
So how do we do that?
Right.
How do
You're
how
good
do
with
we
that.
make higher education
Yeah.
more inclusive
More inclusive.
and make sure everyone has a chance to benefit?
Right. So
What did you find?
many of the reports
Mm-hmm.
advocate for a multi-pronged approach.
Okay.
This includes
Mm-hmm.
creating targeted scholarships
Okay.
and financial aid programs
Mhm.
for disadvantaged students,
Good.
establishing flexible learning pathways
Okay.
that accommodate different needs and circumstances,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
actively promoting gender equality and inclusion
Yeah.
within educational institutions.
Absolutely.
Did I
It
got
sounds
it?
like a really multifaceted challenge.
Yeah, it is.
Right.
Right.
That requires both systemic changes
Okay.
and targeted interventions.
And targeted interventions.
Are there any
Any bright spots?
are there any
Mhm.
any examples of institutions or initiatives
No.
that are successfully tackling these issues?
Definitely.
Okay, good.
Mhm.
Give us some good news.
Okay, one of the reports profiles this remarkable program in Uganda
Oh, wow.
that's empowering young women from rural communities
That's great.
to pursue careers
Hmm.
in science and technology.
Amazing.
They provide not only financial support,
Hmm.
but also mentorship,
Okay.
leadership training,
Yeah.
and networking opportunities.
Wow.
It's a holistic approach
It is.
that's transforming lives and challenging traditional gender roles.
I love that. It's
Yeah.
a testament to what can be achieved
What can be achieved.
when we combine innovative thinking
Right.
with a commitment to social justice.
It is.
Okay.
Right.
Shifting gears a little bit.
Yeah.
One theme that just keeps coming up
Yeah.
in the source material
Hmm.
is this need
Mhm.
for African universities to become not just repositories of knowledge,
Right.
but engines of innovation.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are they saying?
Well, the reports argue that universities have a crucial role to play
Yeah.
in driving economic growth
Yeah.
and addressing societal challenges. It's not just about producing graduates.
Right.
It's about fostering a culture
Right.
of research and development
Yeah.
that generates practical solutions to real-world problems.
So how do you
Make this vision a reality. Like, how do we
how do you
create an environment where innovation can flourish
That's the key.
within African universities?
Oh, several reports
Yeah.
point to the importance of fostering collaboration
Right.
between academia
Mm.
and the private sector. For
Interesting.
instance,
Mhm.
there's a compelling case study
Okay.
about a university in Kenya
Cool.
that partnered with a local tech company
Okay.
to develop an app that helps farmers monitor crop health and improve yields.
Wow. That's cool.
Yeah, so,
So breaking down the silos
breaking down the silos.
between academia and industry
Yeah,
can lead to tangible benefits
can lead to tangible benefits.
for both.
Yeah.
For both parties.
But it's collaboration. I mean,
Yeah.
it's not always easy.
No, it's not.
Right. What are some of the challenges
Just some of the challenges.
that these partnerships face?
Well, one challenge
Yeah.
is ensuring
Mm-hmm.
that the partnership is truly mutually beneficial.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes there's a risk
Right.
that universities can become too focused
Right.
on generating revenue
Mm-hmm.
or meeting the needs of industrial partners
Yeah.
and potentially neglecting
Mm-hmm.
their core mission
Mm-hmm.
of education and research.
Yeah, so it's about
It's about striking a balance.
striking a balance.
Right, right.
Making sure that
Mhm.
these partnerships are aligned with
Yeah.
the university's broader goals and values.
That's right.
Okay.
Mhm.
What other potential
What other?
pitfalls did you find?
Another challenge is
Mhm.
navigating
Okay.
intellectual property rights.
Mm-hmm.
Who
Yeah.
owns
Yeah.
the inventions or discoveries
Yeah.
that emerge from these collaborations?
Good question.
How are the benefits shared? These are important questions
They are.
that need to be addressed up front
Mm-hmm.
to avoid conflict
Yeah.
and ensure fairness.
Right.
You know?
So clear communication and transparency
Transparency
are key to building trust
is key.
and ensuring that these partnerships are
Mhm.
sustainable in the long run.
Sustainable.
Are there any
Yeah.
concrete examples of best practices?
Yeah, some universities have developed model agreements
Okay.
that clearly outline the terms of engagement,
Good.
ensuring that both parties are protected
Yeah.
and that any intellectual property generated is managed fairly.
Mm-hmm.
Transparency and open communication are paramount.
It sounds like a
Yeah.
delicate dance.
It's a delicate dance.
Right. Right. Balancing the interests of academia and industry
Mhm.
while maintaining the integrity
Mhm.
of the university's mission.
Of the university's mission.
The source material also
Yeah.
talks about the importance of attracting
Yeah.
and retaining qualified faculty.
That's a big one.
And I know this is a big problem.
It is.
So what are we going to do?
What can we do?
What are some solutions?
Well,
Dan?
the reports highlight the challenge of brain drain.
We talked about that.
We did. Talented academics
Mm-hmm.
leaving Africa for better opportunities elsewhere.
Mm-hmm.
To counter this,
Mm-hmm.
they advocate for
Yeah.
creating more competitive salary structures,
Okay.
investing in professional development programs,
Mm-hmm.
and fostering a supportive and stimulating work environment.
Mm-hmm. That makes sense.
It does. So
It's not just about attracting talent.
No.
It's about
it's about creating the conditions.
creating the conditions where they can thrive
Yeah.
and contribute their best work.
Their best work.
And this includes like fostering a culture of mentorship.
It does.
Right.
Right? Where
Experienced faculty members.
support and guide younger colleagues.
Yeah.
It's
So
about
creating that
a virtuous cycle. Yeah.
Where investment in faculty development leads to a more vibrant, productive academic environment,
Yeah.
which in turn attracts more talent.
And
This kind of leads us to
this leads us to a broader point.
about
What?
African universities.
Becoming more self-reliant.
More self-reliant.
Self-reliant in what sense?
Well, many of the reports
Mhm.
emphasize the need
Okay.
to move beyond dependence
Okay.
on external funding
Right.
and create more sustainable models for higher education in Africa.
So that's an interesting concept.
It is.
But how do we achieve that?
How do we?
Where do we even begin?
Well, one avenue
Okay.
is diversifying revenue streams.
Instead of relying solely on government funding or tuition fees,
Right.
universities can explore
Yeah.
alternative sources of income, like
Like what?
establishing research parks,
Okay.
incubating startups, or providing consultancy services.
Interesting. So it's about
It's
leveraging the university's
Yeah.
resources and expertise
To
to generate income and create a more sustainable financial foundation.
That's right.
It's about
shifting the
mindset from
BA.
passive recipients of funding to becoming active players in the economic ecosystem.
Active players.
That's a powerful shift in perspective.
Shift.
But this kind of transformation requires more than just financial innovation.
Financial innovation.
Right.
Right.
What else do we need?
Well, it requires a fundamental shift
Okay.
in the culture and mindset
Yeah.
within universities.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
it's about embracing
entrepreneurship. Yeah.
fostering innovation, and promoting
Yeah.
a spirit of collaboration and partnership.
Of collaboration.
Yeah.
So this is a challenging but exciting journey.
Yeah.
And it makes me think
And it makes me think
about the role of leadership in driving this kind of transformation. What are your thoughts?
Strong and visionary leadership
Yeah.
is essential.
Okay.
University leaders need to be not only skilled administrators, but also passionate advocates for change, capable of inspiring and motivating their communities.
No.
It's
about finding leaders who can articulate a compelling vision.
A compelling vision.
For the future of higher education in Africa.
And who have the skills.
And
And determination to make that vision a reality.
It sounds like a tall order. But stakes are high.
They are high.
Right. I mean, the future of Africa. In many ways. Depends on the success. Of its higher education system. That's powerful. I think you're right.
It is.
The decisions we make today about
how to support
and develop higher education in Africa will have ripple effects
for generations to come. As an investment in the future.
It is not just of the continent, but of the world. I think that's a perfect way to move to the final part.
Yeah, of our deep dive.
Right.
We've been exploring the challenges and opportunities facing higher education in Africa. Now, let's kind of zoom out a bit and look at the bigger picture.
Right.
This whole youth dividend idea, it's really intriguing.
It is.
What specific benefits, do the reports suggest that a thriving
higher
education sector could bring to the continent?
They envision a future where a well-educated workforce drives innovation, entrepreneurship, and economic growth across Africa.
Right.
They suggest that higher education can play a key role in tackling big issues like poverty, unemployment, and inequality. Imagine a continent where homegrown solutions address local challenges.
Interesting.
Leading to improvements in healthcare, agriculture, and infrastructure.
That would be amazing.
It's a powerful vision for the future.
It is.
Okay.
But I'm thinking some people might say that focusing on higher education is a luxury when so many African countries are still struggling with basic literacy rates.
Right.
So how do the reports address that concern?
Well, several of the reports acknowledge that a strong foundation of primary and secondary education is absolutely essential. However, they argue that neglecting higher education would be a missed opportunity.
Interesting.
They propose a balanced approach, investing in all levels of education, while recognizing the unique role that higher education plays in driving innovation and development.
It's not either.
Both.
Yeah. But we've got to invest strategically across the entire...
Across the education spectrum.
The reports also seem to really highlight the importance of research and development. What did you find there?
Well, they argue that African universities need to move beyond simply transmitting knowledge and become active centers of research and innovation. One report even suggests establishing dedicated research funds that prioritize projects addressing key challenges facing the continent. Things like food security, climate change adaptation, and disease prevention.
Makes sense.
Investing
in research tailored to African needs.
That's smart. But how do we make sure
that the knowledge generated through this research actually translates into tangible benefits
for communities, right?
Right.
Well, many reports advocate for closer collaboration between universities, industry, government agencies, and NGOs. They propose creating innovation hubs and technology transfer offices.
Interesting.
That can help bridge the gap between research and practical application.
So it's about
creating
ecosystems where research findings can be transformed into products, services, and policies that have a real impact on people's lives.
And this requires...
It does fostering a culture of entrepreneurship within universities.
Encouraging students and faculty to develop their ideas and create ventures that can drive social and economic progress.
So this all kind of goes back to that story we were talking about at the beginning. The young woman from rural Kenya who walked miles to attend school.
Absolutely. It's about creating opportunities. For countless individuals like her. To realize
their potential and contribute. To building a brighter future for Africa.
To building a brighter future.
That's powerful. What are your thoughts on that?
It's about investing in human capital. Recognizing that education isn't simply about acquiring knowledge, but about empowering individuals to become agents of change, innovators, and problem solvers. So it's a story of hope. It is.
Of resilience and of
the incredible
potential
that lies within Africa's young population. I think you're right.
It is a story.
It's a story that we're all part of writing. The future of higher education in Africa is being shaped right now.
It's being shaped.
And it's up to all of us to contribute. To building a system. That is equitable. Sustainable.
And truly transformative.
I
love that. I think that's a perfect note to wrap up on.
So,
we've talked about a lot so far. The challenges. The opportunities facing higher education in Africa. But now I want to talk about solutions.
Like, what are some of the things that we can actually do?
What can we do
to address these issues and move forward? What are the reports saying?
Well, they're talking a lot about empowering young people to become leaders in their own communities and countries. They highlight the importance of providing access to quality education and creating opportunities for entrepreneurship and innovation.
Makes sense. But how do we actually make that happen? What are the concrete steps?
One concrete step is investing in teacher training and curriculum development, making sure that the education system is providing students with the skills they need to succeed in the 21st century.
So not just rote memorization and
traditional methods,
but really equipping them with those problem solving, critical thinking
skills. The reports also talk about the need to strengthen university governance and ensure that institutions are accountable and transparent. We need to make sure.
That resources are being used effectively. And that there are mechanisms in place to prevent corruption. Absolutely. But it's not just about top-down solutions.
No.
What else do we need?
We also need to empower students and faculty to be part of the solution, give them a voice in shaping the future of higher education.
And create opportunities for them to lead and innovate. The reports also emphasize the importance of fostering a culture of peace and tolerance.
That's important.
On university campuses.
It is.
Addressing issues like gender inequality, ethnic tensions, and political polarization. These things can really hinder progress and create a climate where learning and innovation are stifled. So creating a safe and inclusive environment is crucial for higher education to thrive. But let's talk about something else that I found really interesting. This idea of African solutions for African challenges. What did you find in the reports about that?
Well, the reports are really pushing for moving beyond this reliance on Western models of development and instead focusing on solutions that are tailored to the specific needs
and
of African countries. So, for example, in the field of healthcare, the reports highlight the importance of training more community health workers who can provide basic medical care in rural areas. Where access to hospitals and doctors is limited.
So it's about
empowering local communities
to take
charge
of their own health and well-being. The reports also talk about the potential of technology to bridge the digital divide
and provide access to education and information to people in remote areas. So things like online learning platforms, mobile health apps, and digital libraries can play a crucial role in democratizing knowledge,
and
empowering individuals. But access to technology is just one part of the equation. What else do we need to consider?
We also need to consider the cultural context. And ensure that technology is being used in a way that is sensitive to local values and beliefs. It's about finding that balance between innovation and tradition. So it's a complex issue with no easy answers.
But I think the reports give us a lot to think about.
They do.
And a lot to be hopeful for.
The future of higher education in Africa is, in many ways, the future of the world. And it's a future that we can all help to shape. What are your thoughts? What do you see as the most promising paths forward for African higher education? What innovations or initiatives spark your imagination? Keep those brain gears turning. And we'll see you on our next deep dive.
Okay.